So this morning we are preparing the common breakfast item, cornmeal porridge. So we're going to start off with some fine yellow cornmeal, touch of salt, some vanilla. We're also going to use some milk for sweetening, some sugar for sweetening by choice. There's a little secret, not ready to disclose it. In the meantime, here's what we're going to do. We're going to need a cup of cornmeal. Now, here's the thing with cornmeal porridge. If it is not prepared properly, it becomes quite lumpy and not edible or not pleasing. We're going to use a cup of cold water. And we are going to, in essence, dilute the cornmeal in the cold water. And then we're going to add it to hot water. With that, we're going to cook it for about 15 minutes. Some people like it thick. Some people like it a little off. So we're going to use about 2 cups of this water. And we're going to set to boil. A pinch of salt, just for taste. Just a pinch of salt. Now, while that is happening, we're going to add the cornmeal. Now, people might ask, what is porridge? It is, in essence, just a hot cereal. It is a part of the family of the grits family. And if you notice, we are making sure we dissolve the cornmeal. Because if it is not dissolved, it becomes quite clummy. And as a kid, someone prepared it for me and wasn't done correctly and became something I end up eating in life because it was not done right. And I don't care who you are, you could never get me to drink this thing afterwards. And with all things in regards to food, it's all about preparation, how it's prepared, how it's managed, and how it is served. All right, so we're dissolving the cornmeal. I'm going to add some more just to make sure that when I add it to there, it does not just become straight up watery base. Now, a part of some of the things that people can do, and with all food product, once you start doing it, is this. If you start adding some of the things that you like in all things, you're now adding a new twist to your favorite foods, and you're enhancing it. Now, you can choose to use a cup of vanilla yogurt. This morning, I'm going to use some protein shake, a vanilla protein shake added. So to the start, you're now getting your protein intake added to your hot cereal in the morning. It's going to add a new flavor and you're getting the nutrients necessary. So here we go. We're adding that while the water is going. And you keep stirring because, as I said, clump, or it becomes a cornmeal if it's not mixed out. You have these clumps of cornmeal because it's undissolved. It's one of those things where if you ever get corn stuck in the back of your throat, you can in essence feel it just sitting back there. So it's essential to have it properly dissolved. And if it sits too long, I'll show you something. So if I allow it to sit for about 3 minutes or so, you're going to see where it starts thickening up. This is why we keep turning it to ensure that it becomes dissolved and you have no clumps. It's a product that when cooking it, you do not necessarily have to have it on a high heat because it's going to clump up and harden on you. So dissolving it, key factor. Constant stirring, key factor. And the low heating once your water is boiled to ensure that it doesn't harden up, doesn't burn, and you're getting the density or the liquefying it as required. It's one of those where when I mentioned density, you don't want it too thick, and you definitely don't want it too liquefied either. It's finding the right density, and we're going to find it. As I said, if I have it to sit too much, you get that. So you constantly stir it so you're getting the proper blend of mixture. The water is beginning to boil here. So I'm going to add it in. And then I'm going to turn it on low. If not, this thing start popping up, and just like hot grits, it pops up on you, and that thing hits that skin. It's a serious burn. So we're going to do this. Turn this down on low. On the constant stirring. Here I'm also going to add, I'm going to use some island spice. We're going to the island, man. Some island spice concentrated vanilla. And you can hear that sucker popping. As I said, it's a constant stir. Constant stir. If not, it's going to thicken and it's going to become lumpy and not appealing or tasty. So we're going to add the vanilla. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of vanilla. About a teaspoon of vanilla. Ooh, nothing smells better than vanilla in the morning. It wakes your nerves up. Here we go. I'm also going to use some condensed milk in helping to sweeten it. And as I mentioned, I'm going to add a little secret to this thing, or a twist, not necessarily secret because I just exposed that. We're going to add a twist to it, and you're gonna see the difference and the richness while adding more nutrients to the common starch of cornmeal. Pause it. All right, so if you notice, here we are. We got a perfect blend of the cornmeal blending out, the right density. We're now going to add some great nutmeg. Now, they also sell this in the powder form. I like organic as much as possible. So this is the real nutmeg. I have, and nutmeg is one of those things that can last pretty much forever. So this is how it looks while it's in the shell. This is how it looks while it's in the shell. And this is the nutmeg itself. But I had one that I had already started opened. So I'm just going to grate her just a little bit to add to the flavor of this porridge. It won't even be a spoon or a teaspoonful, just to add to the flavor. All right, so that's our nutmeg. Now, I'm not in Jamaica, of course, so I can't use the Jamaican condensed milk, but I like Magnolia. I like Magnolia because it is a nice, look at that, right? So we're adding about 2 tablespoons, sorry, of condensed milk. That's what we're going to use as its sweetening content. Now, protein shake. I'm using Walmart brand this morning. Vanilla protein shake. I'm adding protein and adding milk, and also that vanilla flavor to this porridge. Some people may use, I know a friend of mine who liked to use condensed milk plus evaporated milk. Look how we're enhancing nutrients. What this also does, it just gave you a dose of your protein for the day. It's going to be filling. It's going to be tasty. It's going to be rewarding. Look at the richness. Look how all of the ingredients are coming together. There we go. Now, we've had this on for maybe about 8 minutes, 10 minutes so far. I'm getting it up. And with all things that you're cooking, if you're one who don't know your temperatures, To play it safe with all items when you're cooking your items, make sure your stuff is up to 165 degrees. It's the best way to be safe. It's the best way to ensure that your product is cooked. Certain meats are cooked under 165, but the Department of Health required that all meal contents, pretty much anything else other than certain beef or fish, needs to be cooked to 165 degrees. I will tell you, if you're cooking at home, and it's so easy for foodborne illnesses to kick in, I would say cook all your meals or maintain 165 degrees just to ensure that you're having a healthy meal coming at you. Now, rich formation of porridge. As I told you, splats on you, especially if cooked high, you can be having a problem where it burns just like it would burn if you were using grits. So this morning's meal will be cornmeal porridge. We're going to turn the stove off in about 2 seconds here. Let it sit for a minute. It's served hot. It's eaten hot. And then you can choose to have fruits with it. You can choose to have toast with it. Typically, growing up, I remember in Jamaica, a lot of people like their Excelsior hard crackers with it. So it's one's preference, one's choice. Some people like to sit their crackers in it and let it saturate and eat it. Some people like to dip. To each their own. But it is a good nutritional, strong food, especially for young kids. It builds bones, it fills them up, and it's a cheap method of meal. And it's a hot cereal. So if you have young kids in the morning who like stuff like grits, this is a good option. This is a good choice. It's filling. It will carry them through the day. And as I said, because I've added these protein content, fill you up, nutritional value. Enjoy. Welcome to Mama P's Kitchen.